The stub pin is held in at the back by a socket head cap screw. Some people call them Allen bolts. There are two different sizes which complicate things a little bit, and there are two different diameters, so there's quite a combination of options. Before you've actually removed the old one, it's easy enough to order the correct one. You simply measure the bearing diameter, 39mm, and you have to tell me which bolt you have in the back. So the head of this bolt is 30mm diameter. This is the 20mm bolt. Head of the 22mm bolt is 33mm diameter. Because it's flush with the hole, you can't get in to use a caliper properly. What you can do is set the caliper, line it up with the outside diameter of the bolt, and this one's 30mm, so that tells it's a 22mm bolt. This one here, when it's in the hole, you can line it up. You can use the office ruler if you want, and that will tell you that this one is 33. So if you just hold the office ruler across the hole, you can judge whether it's 30mm or 33. So you don't need to have the bolt out in order to order the pin, as long as you can measure the bearing, and that tells you whether it's 20mm or 22mm. There are 4 pins, 2 bearing diameters, and a choice of 2 bolts, 20mm and 22mm. So we have the various options. We have a 34mm diameter bearing with a 20mm bolt. We have a 34mm diameter bearing with a 22mm bolt in the back. And then we've got 39 and 20, and we've got 39 and 22. There is another one, it's a big one with a huge nut on the back. They never seem to go wrong. We don't actually make them yet. If the market was there, we would make them as well. But we make all these in-house in our CNC machine, made of very high tensile steel and ready to work. They're removed using an Allen key. This is one we made ourselves. It's an impact socket with a 17mm Allen key, which we've cut down and brazed in. Not very pretty, but it does the job. They've used a little bit of Loctite, very sparingly, but that's sufficient to hold it. Slot these in the hole. We don't need to replace the bolt unless it's broken, which is really unusual. When you're using a power tool, always put the threads in a good way so that it can't go wrong when you put the power on. This tool is a lot more powerful than it needs to be. The tightening torque for these bolts is 840 Newton meters, as recommended by the manufacturer. They come loose every day. We get 3 or 4 calls about this problem with the bolts coming slack. So obviously 840 is not enough. This tool goes up to nearly 2000. So we don't labour it, we'll give it 2 seconds, maybe 3 on the tightening at the very end, at the tightening torque, and that's the job done. So that's it in, 2 seconds, and that's it. That's all you need to do. If you have a slack stub pin where you go to try to tighten up the nut and the whole thing turns, all you need to do is get this tool, a 3/4 inch impact wrench, 17mm Allen key, and 2 seconds, 3 at the most, and that's it tight. That's all you need to do. Don't labour with the trigger, just 2 or 3 seconds and the job's done.